Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
We are running late this morning, and right now here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. And a good morning to you and yours, and we're a couple of minutes late here, but we're getting things rolling, and I hope we have someone on the phone for the Pledge of Allegiance in just a moment. But right now I want to remind you, Zeb at the Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell, with, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and along with some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Let's go to the phone line right now and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Let's get the pledge on, my friend.
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right now it's time for the weather. K&R Rental at 256 South, 300 west of Heyburn. The number to call, 678-3122. And, of course, they offer the rental of the best tools and equipment all over the area. I'll tell you what, if you're in need of tools to finish a construction project, please get a hold of them today. K&R Rental. Roger and the crew, they open the doors at 7 in the morning till 5:30, Monday through Friday, and Saturday 7 to 2. Don't forget, give them a call, 678-3122. Right now, here's the weather.
Keep your umbrella and your galoshes handy. You might need them if you go outside today. Rain is in the forecast for today and tonight, about a 70% chance. A little bit on the breezy side as well. We are expecting a high of 54 tonight, low of 37 tomorrow, especially in the morning time. We do have a slight chance of rain and or snow showers in the forecast. Going to be, again, breezy as well. High of 41. Clear skies for tomorrow night with a low of 25. And as we get on into the weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, high of 43 for the high and 24 for the low. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you. Brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 300 west of Heyburn. Number to call, 678-3122. And don't forget, call them, get a hold of them, find out all about the top name brand tools and equipment they have ready for you to rent at K&R Rental. Right now, Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle.
All right. Hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get all the 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, and 32.
That's the chant of Merv May over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. The number to call for cattle consignments and sale information, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade, Rocky, Lance, Udy, it is the sale that works for you. 10 o'clock starting time today at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Here, they're going to have another really good sale today. The Holland Ranch over at Wells, Nevada. I know those folks. They're bringing in 30 head of butcher cows and 30 head of 500-pound calves. Robert Hennifer over at Cary. Hello, everybody up at Cary. 90 head of calves coming into the sale today. Mont Campbell over to Clear Creek. 85 head of calves. Kim and Chet Brackett over at Three Creek. Hey, they're bringing in 2 loads of butcher cows. And Junior Bryan of Hollister, 25 head of calves, along with butcher cows coming in from TLK Dairy, Acme Dairy, and and Oak Valley Dairy. 10 o'clock starting time at the sale that does work for you. Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, he gets the steer calves there. Here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135 and a half, $7.35. Zeb Mel gets bottom.
No, there you go, there you go. And today is Lunch Bunch at 11:30, and we're looking forward to being over at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. And we've got a lot of people to say thank you to for their gift certificates, of course, that are going to be donated from Walmart, Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes, and Doug Martin, along with Denny's themselves. I'm telling you what, we have a lot of fun. Hope you're going to be there at 11:30. If you've never joined it, come on in. You're welcome. Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley at 11:30 for the Lunch Bunch. But you can stop into America's Diner anytime, all the time, either at 611 North Overland in Burley or 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Denny's Restaurant. Really, really good, folks. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And love to hear from you. Let's see what else have we got cooking. Oh, I wanted to tell you real quick before we get into our first story that at 9:30 this morning, of course, we'll be talking to Rita Ramsey over at Ramsey Heating and Electric, and they're open at 7:30 in the morning till 5, Monday through Friday, for all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric. It's going to get chillier. As a matter of fact, it's going to use the word cold. It's going to get colder. We might even see some snow on Friday, so make sure that you're all snugged up and warm with your furnace working right. Get the furnace filters from Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. You know, why in the world, and I've got 3 or 4 really good topics to talk about this morning, one in particular that's going to just knock your socks off. But I want to start with this one about impeachment. You hear these Democrats, and they stand up at their podium, and they look so pompous and so arrogant and so absolutely filled with themselves, yelling impeachment like Maxine Waters. That has got to be one of the most arrogant, airheaded people I have ever seen in my life. Impeach 45! Impeach 45! And it all makes her and others look so stupid. And these buffoons, they don't realize there's not going to be an impeachment because, first of all, I'd like to know the offenses, and I think if you can tell me, please do so, the offenses that this president and his administration have done and or created. Go ahead, lay it on me if you've got some answers there. So what are you looking at for impeachable offenses? It's just purely a 4-letter word. It's hate. They hate Donald Trump. They hate the change in attitude of America, and they hate the possibility and the reasoning that the swamp is going to be drained and things are going to change in Washington, and maybe they may have to adhere by the rules. But this idea of impeachment is just so absolutely juvenile and silly. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. I really don't know how this country is going to continue moving on. We've got Black Lives Matter. The NAACPs are against them. We've got the Black Panther Party. The NFL, I think, has become a political organization now. How are we going to save this country? I want your opinion on this part. Do you think at some point, being that things are getting so bad, there's going to be the military is going to have to take this country over to save it?
Yeah. I answered it. Simple word. I said it in a slang word. Y-E-A-H. Yeah.
If we're not careful, we're going to have a foreign government eventually take this country over, because of the invasion of so many foreign countries, the people coming into this country.
If we keep going like we are,
people that have struggled all these years to become citizens, excuse me, and become part of this, they're going to lose again because of the likes of people that want to destroy Donald Trump.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what right now, and I don't care who's offended by this because it's a basic truth. If we keep going like we are, you're going to see anarchy, you're going to see chaos in the streets, and yes, you're going to see military involvement. You're going to see a total destruction of what this country stands for. You're going to see absolutely a civil war in the streets. We can't continue to be anarchists like we are right now. We've got to get this thing back together, put it underneath the tent of our Constitution and underneath the rule of law and regulations, and act like America instead of a fragmented third world country.
Well, many of these organizations turning into, like Black Lives Matter, maybe turn into another terrorist organization along with what we've got already.
Yeah, Tony, I'm not gonna try to cover it up with chocolate sauce and make it taste good. I'm just gonna flat tell you, I agree with you. I think that absolutely we're insane if we don't think that we're on the road to ruin and the road to hell if we don't turn things around. We've got to.
Look what Trump has done already financially for this country. And I saw Maxine Waters there this morning. I felt like throwing something at my teeth.
She's such a despicable woman.
For the people of this country, by making this big business deal over there, it's going to put a lot of people to work.
Yeah.
And bring them up financially.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tony, and you've seen a lot more of the United States, good times, bad times, etc., but I'm really concerned right now. I think that this absolutely slovenly society that we've allowed to happen here in the United States it's like a cancer, and it's got to be cut out.
And if we don't, we're going to lose our country to a foreign government.
I agree. On the bright side of things, God bless you and Mary. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I got to run and do a commercial, buddy. Thanks.
Soon again.
I hope so. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Tony. Want to remind everybody about a Pomerelle place. Oh, this is a nice place for senior living. And there's so many pitfalls and problems with seniors living alone. I mean, hey, let's be honest. The isolation, the loneliness is bad enough. It's probably the worst. And the safety hazards of being alone and nobody really checking on you day by day. Boy, I tell you what, you got to be really careful. Bad nutrition, poor nutrition, not fixing the meals correctly that you need, maybe missing medication. Hey, listen, please check on Pomerelle Place. Senior living that offers the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably. Here's the number to call and find out more. 677-8212. 677-8212. Pomerelle Place. A place for senior living, 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. Really nice people. Also, really, really quick, I had yesterday, Maggie Molson was on the air from Molson Cattle Company up there between Parma and Fruitland. And they're going to have their big sale coming up this weekend. Saturday is the preview. Yep, Saturday's the preview up there. And they're going to have all the cattle on display, and they're even going to have a buyer's social with a lot to eat and drink and everything starting at 4 in the afternoon on Saturday. And then on Sunday, a big tri-tip dinner at noon, and the sale starts at 1 o'clock. Quality always comes first at the Molson, Angus, and Hereford Ranch, and it's located at 3135 Elmore Road between Parma and Fruitland. For more information, call Josh at 739-0725, and I know quite a few people that are going up to that sale. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I can't believe this, but Hillary Clinton, this is a story that is just absolutely, it's laughable to some extent, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more at 10:30 this morning, but every day we have horrendous Hillary news clips. Every day. And I got to hand it to her. I mean, I literally have to hand it to Hillary that she keeps herself in the news and the news clips and all the different little statements every single day. I mean, she's like a case of the flu that just will not go away. And this story about Uranium 1. Now, come on, folks. You do not have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that there was a whole bunch of money that was exchanging hands with the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation and some under-the-table deals. I still question, as a taxpayer of the United States of America and a citizen of this country, why? Simple question. Why would we, the United States of America, want to sell uranium to one of the arch villains of the world, Russia, and deplete our assets that could be used for nuclear activity and involvement, and give it to, basically, for a price, to Russia? It does not make any sense to me whatsoever. The left can spin it. They can paint it a different color. They can try to wrap it in a pretty box, but it makes no sense to me. And I hope, and I mean this, I would love to see Hillary wearing a new pantsuit made in bright orange colors and a number on the left lapel and marched down the hallway, if you get my drift. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I had a caller yesterday call me on my cell phone and say, you know what, I heard your ad for Dino's Septic Service. I said, yeah. And they said, by golly, we didn't even know they were around. I said, really? And he said, yeah. And so he said, well, how do I get a hold of him? I gave him the number. The number is 436-6526, and in Burley, 678-1638. And he said he needs his septic tank pumped, and he was going to call him because I said that Dino Septic Service and Rupert, they do the job that you and I don't want to do. I don't want to do it. But they're fast, fair-friendly people, and they really take care of you. Septic tanks pumped, and they've got a backhoe service, and sewer and sink drain lines cleaned. Ooh. And they got a big old truck that says, smells cargo on the way. They're good. Dino Septic Service. Burley and Rupert, you get a hold of them today. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Don't forget, too, and I mean this sincerely, all of my people on this program I work with and I really respect. Caller, I'll be right there. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. The number to call, make an appointment, 678-1191. I went to them when I was really having some problems after surgery, and boy, did they help me with the exercises and the hydrotherapy pool and the great physical therapists there. They all are phenomenal. Don't put it off. Make an appointment today, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. They are the best. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Where have you been?
What?
I am serious. I have been worried about you and your wife, and your phone died on you on the air yesterday when you hung up and we didn't hear where you went. I tried to call you, and I was worried about you. I was going to call a SWAT team to make sure your house was okay.
No, it was fine. My phone just said enough is enough.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, yesterday evening, a liberal friend called me. And I know this person really, really well. And we got this thing back and forth because he loves Hillary, I guess.
Oh, my.
But anyway, he called up and he said, guess what? He said, Hillary has been exonerated from that uranium thing, and you do not know what you're talking about. And I said, really? Where did you hear this? And he said, it was on Fox News. And I said, really? Who was it? Well, I can't think of their name. You know, and people start these stories like this, and pretty soon people get to believe them.
No, I'll tell you what. I really agree with you that people, interviews, different news clips, etc. People have really got to discern the truth and what is really happening. I don't put anything on this program that I will not stand behind 100%. I know that the House Freedom Caucus, they have got their dogs sniffing at Hillary's door right now. I know that there's a lot of senators and congressmen that are nervous about what's going to happen over this Uranium One deal, and they should be. There was no reason. And I want to ask you this. You know about politics. You know about what's in the news. Give me one good, solid reason why the United States of America would make a deal to sell uranium to a foreign power that absolutely hates us.
Well, I agree with you there. But I got one question for you, and that is, how much money did the United States government get for that uranium?
I don't know.
I don't think they got anything.
Well, no, whoa. I wouldn't go there. I think you're going to the wrong end of the spectrum there. There was a lot of money that changed hands. There was a lot of money that went to the Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton Foundation. There was a lot of money that was paid to Bill Clinton right after this deal, supposedly, to make a speech. I'm telling you that there's a lot of dirty hands out there, and I don't think there's enough ivory soap in the industry to clean them off.
You know, I just want to make one other comment. While I was talking to this person, we were talking about welfare and how sometimes Hispanics take advantage of it because he is Hispanic. And I mentioned this one family's name, and he said, they're not Mexicans. And I said, they're not? And he said, no, they're from Texas. And I said, well, do they change colors when they cross the border? And he said, no, they're just not Mexicans. That's all there is to it. So is there a division there between the Spanish people who come from Texas and the ones that came from Mexico?
You know, it would seem to me, and if your friend is listening this morning, maybe they'd better sit down and take a little hand mirror and hold it in front of them at the kitchen table and have a reality check, because I think they're living in another time zone. Keith, I got to run. Thank you so much.
See you later.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if he's still there or not, but I wanted to let him know, and Nancy, it's their anniversary. Happy anniversary today. Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts, South Lincoln and Jerome, along with Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Hello, Juan. How you doing over there? All the equipment rentals and all the retail equipment sales for whatever you need to get the job done right. They've got the equipment. I mean, they've got the equipment. They got the know-how. All of their locations, man, they can teach you how to run the equipment, and you're in like Flynn, man. I'll tell you what, you can go home with a Bobcat excavator. You can clean things up. They've got all the Bobcats, all shapes and sizes, at Barry Equipment and Rental. Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Oh, let me see. I want to tell you quickly, we have back on the air with us the urgent cares. And I'll tell you what, I was really, really interested the other day when Alex Judd was on my program, and he was telling us about all the benefits that are offered to you to save money on your health care at all three of the urgent cares. And, of course, you have Riverview Urgent Care and Medical Center at 382 North Overland in Burley. You have the Urgent Care of Jerome at 133 West Avenue A in Jerome, and Urgent Care of Twin Falls at 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin Falls. I mean, they offer so many services like drug screening, DOT physicals, lacerations or sewn up, sprains, strains, and fractures. They have care for the whole family, and they want to keep the costs so that you only pay for the services that you need. They are trying and are doing a great job of saving you money on your health care, and they offer a plan with no premium that can help you manage high deductibles. Get a hold of them today. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley urgent care of Jerome, and urgent care of Twin Falls. They are serving you and your family. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. It's sure nice to get it right off the bat. Anyway, I wanted to call in. You know, Hillary's always saying how there's no evidence towards her. And you know, her husband kind of did the same thing, and he's the only president that has ever been impeached in this country. And, you know, he was caught lying. And it's a terrible thing. Anybody that's guilty, you know, normally will say, they have no evidence against me. There's no reason to try me because they want to get out of it. And they've already been proven to me that they're not an honest couple.
Oh, Jerry, I mean...
Reason one, and that includes the uranium deal.
Absolutely. You know, Jerry, I am absolutely looking forward with glee to see the Clintons finally reach their demise politically, and all the power of the foundation, all the power behind the scenes of the Clintons for the last 25, 30 years. I'm so glad that there is going to be investigations into Hillary. I think that absolutely we're seeing the tip of the iceberg, and when the iceberg is fully exposed, oh boy, look out, open cell number 32. I want to see this woman and her husband absolutely pay for some of the absolute criminal things they've done to this country.
Well, I agree with that, and I think the last president has a whole bunch on his table, too.
I agree.
He did many terrible things during his term in office.
Couldn't agree more. Jerry, are you going to be at Lunch Bunch? Because today you get a free lunch, you and your lovely wife, because you were one of the winners of the Halloween costume contest.
Yeah, but Zeb, you made a mistake there. That's my beautiful bride.
Well, she is a beautiful bride. I never said anything opposite.
You said she was my wife, but that's my beautiful bride.
Oh, don't get me in trouble, Voss. Now be careful.
Hey, you have a wonderful day, and may the Lord bless you.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I have been a little bit hesitant about talking about this story until the last half hour of the first hour. I was so furious when I heard this. And you say, well, why are you so furious? Because it's another complete disintegration of moral value in the United States of America. I hope you're sitting down when I tell you this. And parents, you should really pay attention. In the state of Delaware, now, led by the perverted Democratic governor, John Carney, at schools in Delaware, kids from kindergarten all the way up to college can go to school and they can change their gender. They can choose the gender they want to be and also their race. I'm not making this up. It is so sick and so perverted. And here's the kicker, parents. The school will abide by the student's choice without parental notice or permission. Think about it. You send your little boy to school. At school, he decides that, well, I think I want to be a little girl. And he goes to the school and says, I don't want to be a little boy anymore. I want to be a little girl. My mom and dad, they don't want me to change genders, but I want to be a little girl. And the school is going to abide by the little children's wishes, not notify the parents, and then stand up against the parents. I'm telling you, when I read this, I just absolutely, one of my Tony Lamas hit the wall. It's absolutely insane. Let me read this paragraph. Representative Richard Collins, a Republican that absolutely had his jaw drop when this happened, he said, Specifically, they, being the schools, they're trying to add the term gender identity. And the effect of that would allow any student of any age to change their sex. In other words, go to school and say, well, I look like a boy, but now I'm a girl, and I'm going to change my name. And the most perverse part is they don't even have to tell the parents. Meaning, if the school says, well, should we talk to your parents? And the child says no, that means the school is not going to tell the folks what's going on at school. With the different choice of a gender, a name, and a race. Now, I doubt seriously if there's anybody in my audience that absolutely would abide by this. If there is, there's some pretty sick people out here. The policy explicitly provides that educators should consider not consulting or notifying parents of children who wish to change their gender identity. And listen to this very carefully. If those parents are not supportive enough of the gender identity to change, they will not be told by the school. And the parents will be criticized. My good heavens. What are your thoughts on this? The school basically is going to shelter, hide, and camouflage what the children are, protect the children against the parents, cause a huge family disruption. This is the most insidious and perverted thing I've heard in a long, long time. Parents have lost control. And you know why parents are losing control with the stupidity of like Delaware and Democrat Governor John Carney? It's because parents didn't get involved in the first place. They're too busy. Oh, well, I'm on the bowling league on Wednesday night. I can't go to the PTA meeting. Oh, well, no, I'm going to stop at the bar with the boys after the work today, and I'm going to have a couple of belts. Boy, it's been a tough week. The welfare of our kids, the future of our generations. There are only two genders, male and female. And for the idiocy that is now being led and furthered by these offshoot, perverted groups that want to see a complete disruption of morality in America, we are going to hell. What are your thoughts? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We need to speak out on this because what's happening over here will soon happen in our backyard. Don't forget the Bennett Boys Auction Service, Heil Reduction Auction. It's at 11 o'clock this Saturday, November 18th. You bet, located over in Gooding. From the stoplight, go west 1 mile to 1800 east, then north 1.5 miles. Watch for all the signs of the Bennett Boys Auction. Ooh, they're going to have a lot of good tractors, haying equipment, ATVs, generators. I mean, they've got it all. Lots of good equipment over at this sale. Don't miss it this coming Saturday at 11 a.m. Lunch on the grounds at the Cook Shack. Bennett Boys Auction Service, Joe Bennett and the crew, 539-0111. Don't forget, no sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they can sell them all. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Well, you know, we're going to have a lot of mixed-up kids because gender identity is still developing when they're real young, and we've brought that up before. But sometimes they have an affinity toward the opposite sex or toward being the opposite gender, and it's a normal developmental thing. But it should, in a healthy mind, switch back to what the child is. And then the other thing is the state, and pretty soon, or the schools, and pretty soon we're going to see the government taking away the parental rights even more than they are now.
Wait a minute, Linda. They are already. Anytime you pick up a story like what's happening in Delaware, with this governor, John Carney, leading the charge, this is perverted, this is sick, This is anti-family. It's anti-right and wrong. It's anti-morals. How can anybody stand up in favor of this? And what's going on to absolutely move the parents out into left field in the cheap seats and the bleachers and not know what their kids are doing or have a say in what their kids are doing? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is scary. And I think the parents, like as you say, by not getting involved or giving up their rights, I would be down on that governor and on that school, on the schools. You know, if they need to come down on them, they need to say, we will not accept this.
You know, Linda, I know that you're a Christian lady. And I know that you are a person that's a follower of the Bible and God's prophecy. But you can't find anything that'll cover the filth and the sleaze that's going on in America today to absolutely disrupt, distort, and destroy anything with American family values in this country. I mean, these people are going nuts. Every little niche that they can tear apart and destroy, they're going after it.
Yep, they are. And it is definitely evil.
A good word. Evil. It's evil personified. Linda, thank you for your call. Thank you.
Well, we'll see you later on this morning.
I hope so, Linda. Thank you so much. You know, I was reading that the school, listen to this, the schools shall take into consideration the safety, health, and well-being of the student in deciding whether to request permission from the parent or legal guardian. What? The school shall take into consideration and decide whether to request permission from the parent or legal guardian. This just blows my mind. Picture yourself sitting there at the kitchen table, and all of a sudden this absolute pervertedness comes into your home. You are outraged. You go to the school and you run into a brick wall because the school says you're no longer in control. They are. And they are going to decide whether or not your permission, granted or not, is acceptable. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You need to call on this. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids is going to bring us the weather right now, and they're right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room. The number to call, 312-0957 for an appointment. Don't forget Dr. Christine Pickup. She has 8 years to get her doctorate, and she knows. She's been an audiology doctor for over 10 years. And she can help you with your hearing problems. If you notice that you've got a little bit less hearing today than you did a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, please give her a call for a hearing screening. 312-0957, Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Right now, here's the weather.
Keep your umbrella and your galoshes handy. You might need them if you go outside today. Rain is in the forecast for today and tonight, about a 70% chance. A little bit on the breezy side as well. We are expecting a high of 54 tonight, low of 37 tomorrow, especially in the morning time. We do have a slight chance of rain and or snow showers in the forecast. Going to be, again, breezy as well. High of 41. Clear skies for tomorrow night with a low of 25. And as we get on into the weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, high of 43 for the high and 24 for the low. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, and brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, Dr. Christine Pickup, and, of course, Katie Bingham. She's over there as the new patient care coordinator. Call today at 312-0957. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, our kids, they're so impressionable. Whether it's a kindergarten, 8th grade, juniors in high school, or college, they're so impressionable. The world is changing, and it's spinning literally so fast with all kinds of news items and attacks on values and attacks on families and attacks on common sense. And to let these little kids go to school and basically be coerced and pushed into thinking irrational thoughts about, I guess maybe I'm not a little boy. I guess I'm a little girl. Well, I guess I'm not Caucasian. I guess I'm a black person. This is insane. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Is this a plot, I don't know, or a reaction to get total control over the children? If when you have your children in their care for 5 or 7 hours, however long it is, by the end of the day, they're beginning to start to be more important than the parents, unless the parents are right in there almost every day, pick my child up, say hi to the teacher, make my presence known.
Let me ask you something.
It's happening in Cassia County, but it certainly is scary to think it is happening at all.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm going to ask you a question. But first of all, it is naive to think, and please do not be offended by what I just said, Chris. It is naive to think that it can't be forced or pushed in this area. I know we live in a relatively conservative area, but Chris, you know as well as I do, being naive and thinking it can't happen here is like an open-door policy to invite it here.
Well, yes, even out here in Idaho, we sometimes think we have more control than we really do. But we can't drop that. We've got to hang on to it and make our control power. Because you know where the control comes from. It's our pocketbook.
That's right. But the question I have for you, and you have raised your family, and I know you and your family are just absolutely really good people. But if this happened to one of your children and you didn't know about it, you weren't notified, and all of a sudden the embarrassment and the absolute slap in the face of finding out that your child says, well, I'm not going to be a boy anymore, I want to be a girl, and I'm not a Caucasian, I'm going to be black from now on, and the school advocates it, what are you going to do?
Well, as a parent, you are just going to stop that. You're going to spend a little time with either a child doctor or just, you've got to nip it in the bud, because that is confusing them so much that by the time they get to puberty, they can be in real trouble, and they'll never be the same.
When you make a law and the governor stands behind it that from kindergarten up through the school years, they can go to their counselor, they can go to their teacher, and they can change, and the school's going to stand behind that, we are looking at a society that literally is on the road to hell. And when the parents have lost control of their own children and can't say yay or nay, we are looking at a Gestapo government that has taken the rights of parents and thrown it in the toilet.
So this is on the East Coast at this point.
Well, it's in Delaware, and you know as well as I do that there are other groups.
Delaware is way up there.
I know. But what I'm saying is, you know as well as I do that we're going to see.
I hope that parents are looking at this, and I certainly will talk to my sons, because our oldest boy has 2 children in the public school, and they seem to know what gender they are. I just hope that, the parents have got to stand up to this, and if not, the grandparents better.
I just, honestly, I was so taken aback when I read this, that minor children under 18 years of age are being allowed to force and coerce decisions that absolutely could be devastating for them for the rest of their lives, and the schools are not notifying or asking the parents. This is insanity.
That is so wrong. That is so wrong. I think I'd be following my child to the classroom every day for a month or two just to see what's going on in the classroom. They can't keep the parents out, I don't think, can they?
We all need to get much more involved. And I know that here a couple of weeks ago I was talking to Debbie Critchfield about parent-teachers meetings, and it's really hard on the schools trying to figure out why the parents won't get involved and go to the schools and talk to the teachers. This is one example right now why parents need to really get involved.
Yeah, and I think that employers, if they have parents in their employ, they've got to let the parents go.
I agree.
To these things.
I agree.
Anyway, well, let's fight it.
Chris, thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Nice lady right there. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
A lot of this comes about when the parents fail. And I'm not saying it's all the parents' fault, but and it's not all the teachers' fault either. I was in a position at one time where I had to deal with students, and this student kept coming to sick call or coming up sick, and found out what they're doing is sending her to school, and this is a first grader, sending her to school, not eating breakfast. And when I ask about it, they say, well, she's so slow and she never gets done in time to eat breakfast, and then they send her to school. Well, these 6-year-olds aren't old enough to control their lives yet, my word. So I just kept a box of crackers there at the school, and whenever she come up sick, I give her 2 or 3 crackers, and it gets something in her stomach. But you see parents do things like this all the time, and the parents send their kids to school with their hair messed up. You can tell they've not even, perhaps even talked to the parents that morning.
Yeah.
And so then the teachers, they see this, and they have a little bit of compassion, and they think, well, we should be in control of that kid.
Wait a minute. I go along with that, Dwayne, all you want, but I'm telling you what, I'm drawing a line in the sand here, and when you start messing with the minds of little children and allowing them to switch genders and switch races, this is insanity, and it has to stop.
Well, I agree with that, and that's what I'm saying is it's gone too far. This is what I said was just the initial starting of these schools getting the idea. Now it's gone too far. It's went into the colleges, and I think you recall I called in about the professors.
Yeah.
That's the boys girls they need to get rid of, is some of those liberal professors. And I said the other day, these kids go into college, men, and they come out women.
Well, all the more reason, I think, Dwayne, to look at homeschooling. I got to get a Les Schwab spot in from my dear friends, and I appreciate your call. Thank you, Dwayne. God bless.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is insanity. This is absolute insanity, and I don't think there's anybody in their right mind that can stand up and advocate this absolute filth that's going on in Delaware. No one. Don't forget, get ready for wintertime driving at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you with the best of tires to get you through the snow, the yuck, the ice, and everything else on those roads. Oh, yeah, look out for the mice. Anyway, they've got all the traction tires like the Observe GSI-5. Oh, that's quite a tire for your cars. Outstanding in ice and snow. And for your pickups and SUVs, WinterCat SST. Excellent winter traction. All the tire chains. The best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. Gotta have a good battery. All of this available where doing the right thing matters at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Center. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And look out for all the mice on the road. I made a mistake a minute ago. Anyway, Deanne looks at me like, what? Anyway, coming up next hour, the Chamber Report with Kyla and all kinds of goodies. Rita Ramsey's going to be here, starving to death. We got a whole bunch more, and your calls are appreciated. Zeb at the Ranch, take it away. We'll be back in 7 minutes. Oh, my. Back here we are on Zeb at the Ranch. I have no idea what's going on, but we'll find out. Anyway, good morning. And, of course, we're brought to you by your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal.
Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Don't forget, maybe you're going to be cleaning out the house, I said, and you need a dumpster. Maybe you're getting ready for Thanksgiving next week. Oh, my goodness, you've got a whole bunch of cleaning to do. Well, call Western Waste. Get a dumpster and just open a window and start pitching and throwing. I'll tell you what, they can help you. They got dumpsters in all different sizes. Always at your disposal, Western Waste Services. Call them today at 734-6969, Western Waste Services. Want to remind you, the Molson Cattle Company up there between Parma and Fruitland going to have their great big Molson, Angus, and Hereford Ranch sale. Quality always comes first. Great big bull and female sale. It's going to be this Saturday and Sunday. The preview on Saturday, sale on Sunday at 1. And I'll tell you what, for more information, call Josh Molson at 739-0725. That's right, 739-0725. And right between Parma and Fruitland, 3135 Elmore Road. It's going to be a great big sale. Don't miss it. Starting at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Before that, they're going to have a great big tri-tip dinner. Don't miss it at the Molson, Angus, and Hereford Ranch. Big quality sale coming up this weekend. Want to also say a big thank you to a sponsor that's been with us for a long, long time, and that's, of course, Joel Heward, his family, and his staff over at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Number to call for information. We all need the information on pre-planning of funerals, so things are done just the way we want them to be done. And the number to call, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, always serving you with absolutely the highest of ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Get a hold of them today. Please call them, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, serving you. I think right now what we're going to do is jump on over to the Chamber of Commerce. And the lovely Kyla's on the line, I think. And we'll say good morning to her. Good morning, Kyla.
She hasn't called in yet, sir.
You know, today's not been the best of days. Kyla, if you're listening over there, you might call them, Wheels, at 679-4793. Give them a call and find out where they are, if you would, please. And in the interim, we will go ahead and invite phone calls at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Love to hear from you, so give me a call. I'll also take just a moment here and remind you about Ark Animal Hospital. Dr. Bill and the entire crew serving you at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. Number to call, 678-1177. Write that number down, 678-1177. And it's a mixed animal practice, which means big or small. They love them all, from little bitty kitty cats all the way up to dairy cows. I'm telling you, Dr. Bill and the crew, they can handle it. And they've been voted Minnecache's best veterinary hospital numerous times. Ark Animal Hospital in Heyburn, 678-1177. Do we have Kyla on the line?
I do not, but I got her cell phone, so I'm going to call her real quick, and then I'm going to put your caller through.
I appreciate it. And again, while we're waiting for our Chamber of Commerce report, I don't know what happened, but we're trying to get a hold of her. I want to remind everybody, too, about Cameron and Siemens Insurance. When you think about life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, and employee benefits, remember Cameron and Siemens Insurance. They are there to serve you, dedicated and responsive to your needs for you, your family, and your business. I urge you to call them for an appointment today, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, isn't it amazing the Democrats for the last 8 years never worried one iota about the national debt? Now we're trying to do a tax cut, and they're all worried about the debt now and what it's going to cause.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here and I listen to the news, and these phony plastic people of the Democratic Party say, oh, no, you can't do that. Oh, no, you're going to help corporations. You know, let me ask you something really simple, Doug. When you aid and assist in taxation cuts to big business conglomerates or corporations, who really is going to benefit in the long run?
Well, history has shown who benefits. You take back when Reagan did it, look what the economy did. Look what the standard of living done, what it done to the middle class.
You're talking about more jobs. You're talking about more people being able to pay taxes. You're talking about more people going back to work. We're talking about productivity. We're talking about a rise in GNP. We're talking about everything just absolutely growing.
Exactly. And if you look at the history and look what's happened then, and then look what happened since when they kept raising taxes, and what it's done to the economy and what it's done to jobs.
Absolutely.
It has lowered it. So, and one thing that I have heard, and I heard it on the Ingram angle last night, and it's quite disturbing to me, was the shush fund our congressmen and senators have to settle harassment cases. Have you heard anything about that?
I have, and it's interesting that you should mention it, because this morning, Eastern Time at 9:05, 7:05 here, I was on the phone to some of the people that helped me and worked for me back in Washington, D.C., and we're doing some investigating on that, and only when I get all the facts about this shush fund am I going to put it on the air.
But people need to know, too, that shush fund is our taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, gee whiz, golly, that's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yes, and that young lady that was on Ingram Angle last night, kudos to her. I mean, it took a lot of courage for her to do what she did. And she quit because, ethically, she could not do what they were wanting her to do.
You know, Doug, you've got to admit that when you hear stories about what's going on in Delaware with the schools not telling the parents what their kids are doing as far as choosing their genders or changing their races, and you look at a complete disintegration of anything that's moral or legal in this country, don't you think it's about a time that we put a cork back in the bottle?
Exactly. Exactly, and the liberals are so upset about injecting hormones into cattle, but are all for injecting hormones into children to change their identity.
That's a very good point. You know, I get so frustrated on this program because I really research all these different stories, and then I have some people have the gall to criticize me after the show's over at the end of the day, and they'll say, well, I don't know where you found that garbage, but that can't be true. Well, if it's not true, I wouldn't have put it on my program.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I got a paying customer come up. Looks like he's got big pockets. So.
I'll tell you what, you better grab onto it when you can.
Then I'll be able to afford lunch bunch.
All right, thank you very much. Want to remind everybody about Let's Ride. Don't forget, this is where the fun is sold at 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. And they've got all the 2018 snowmobiles ready to rock and roll and hit the snow. I'll tell you what, you better get over there right now. And the new Wolverine 4-seater. Check it out. All of this, along with the four-wheelers, the side-by-sides, fantastic accessories accessory department, and, of course, the service department to keep you running. Let's ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. It's true. This is where the fun is sold. I understand that the lost is found. Kyla, good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you this morning?
Frustrated.
Frustrated, I can tell. I think to the holiday cheer and try to get in a better mood this morning. I apologize. I'm driving from the great city of Declo into town, so hopefully I won't lose you on the cell phone here. But just wanted to remind you and everybody that next week, believe it or not, is Thanksgiving, and so the Visitor Center will most likely be closed for sure on Thursday of next week as well as Friday. We're going to let our employees enjoy the holiday and be with their families and friends and, just have a wonderful Thanksgiving. But we are getting ready to celebrate the holiday season, and we want to remind everybody December 7th from 4 to 6 p.m. is the Chamber Visitor Center Christmas party, and it's open community. We're going to have Santa Claus. We're going to have some treats for everybody. We'll have some entertainment. Some local entertainment will be performing at various times, and it's just a nice open house from 4 to 6. So if you've got someone who needs to visit Santa, this is a perfect opportunity.
All right, what other activities are taking place this next couple of weeks that we need to make the public aware of?
Oh, my goodness. There are so many that I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to mention a few right now, but I'm going to encourage you guys to get on minikajachamber.com. Of course, the Kaja Festival of Trees is going on right now, and then, of course, coming up, of trees, caring and sharing of you too. So, again, you can get tickets at the door. You can call for tickets. Jump online, jump on their Facebook pages so you can get all that information. Coming up this weekend, to get ready for Thanksgiving, Nature Nursery Market has a great event going on. They've got a huge bakery sale with lots of local vendors who are selling baked goods. And you got to have lots of baked goods when you're talking about Thanksgiving and the holidays. And then they're also offering some classes for folks, if you'd like to sign up for those, to create your own Thanksgiving centerpieces. And we just think that's going to be a whole lot of fun for a lot of folks. Many of you have family already coming in this weekend. They're going to be with you for a week. These are just some of the fun things that you can take them to and enjoy. And, of course, we want to remind folks, if you want to see experience
I believe
theater's website, get those tickets because it's first come, first serve. They're going to have the train. It'll be magnificent. And then also happening on December 2nd will be the Stoats Equipment Toy Drive, and that is going to be a lot of fun. That's something I'll be talking about here in the week to come. But, lots of kids, lots of families out there still struggling, and we know that times are pretty good economically, but, hey, it's tough for some people. And so we want to make sure that kids do get a toy for Christmas. So I'll talk more about that in the weeks to come, though, Zeb.
All right, and let's be sure and share with everybody all the different ways that they can get a hold of the Chamber of Commerce office.
Okay, 208-679-4793, and then, of course, minikajachamber.com, or email us at, you can talk to Jackie. She's right there in the front office. I think she knows everybody in town and knows everything that's going on, so Jackie at minikajachamber.com is if you want to email your event to us, that would be ideal, or just stop on by with your flyer. We'll be happy to get it on the calendar.
All right, Kyla, thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too, Zeb. Hang in there.
All right, thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at some of the football games, and we've got some great representation for the state championships from our area, and it looks like Skyline is going to take on Minico. Minico really has a powerhouse football team for this year, and they're going to be playing up at the Holt Arena tomorrow night at 8:15, and to the Minico Spartans, we say good luck. Go get them. Let's take a look at what's going to go on in Middleton this Saturday, November 18th at 2 p.m. Cary is going to take on Tri-Valley, and another team from this area that's done outstanding, and they've got some great personnel, and that's Declo. Taking on Firth this Saturday, November 18th at the Holt Arena at, let's see what time they're saying, 2:45 p.m. in the afternoon. And believe me, that program that they've got over at Declo, one of the best of high school football programs anywhere in the country. Man, they really have turned out some outstanding athletes. I've got time for a couple of more calls. Give me a jingle, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Want to also remind you, while I'm waiting for your call, Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number to call, 436-3200. Yes, call them or stop in and take a tour. Perhaps you have a loved one that needs a little bit more one-on-one care. Well, they have personalized help for each person at Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center. And they've got somebody there to help those folks 24 hours a day for help. Please take a tour, find out more. Call them at 436-3200 or stop in to Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again. You know, yesterday, or no, not yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday that I was watching the Boise station, and they are predicting that by 2040, the Treasure Valley will have over 1 million people. And they're really concerned about their infrastructure and their housing. Have you heard anything like that?
Oh, yeah. This has been an ongoing story for quite some time, maybe not up front, but behind the scenes, about the validity of people trying to move into the area, get jobs in the area, start businesses in the area, build homes in the area, find rentals for both office spaces and for living quarters. I mean, we're looking at an explosion coming here to the state of Idaho. Look right here in your own backyard. Look in Burley, Keith. Absolutely, it's growing and exploding and expanding.
Yes, it is, but I'm concerned that most of those people that are going to wind up in the Treasure Valley are going to be from California, and a lot of them are going to be liberals, and pretty soon Idaho will become blue.
Well, that might be a worry, but really, what are you going to do to offset the worry? You can't do anything, because in a free society, they're moving and mobile anywhere they want to go. And I know I have a concern about some of the conservative values of the state being diminished by, like you said, a blue state or a more liberal state. But really, what are you going to do, old buddy?
I don't know, but you know, when I look at Blaine County and what they've done to that already, it's a little bit scary.
Well, I agree with you. It's spooky, but growth and people wanting to move into an area, I'm very concerned about the infrastructure. I'm very concerned about a change in personality of the state of Idaho. I'm very concerned about people coming in from different diverse cultures and fragmentation of what's going on in our own Western culture. Yeah, I'm concerned about it, Keith, but honestly, how are you going to stop it?
Scream a lot.
Okay. All right.
Another thing I'd like to just mention about is, like, New York, New Jersey, and California are really adamantly against this tax cut, because they will not be exempt from their state and local taxes, and that could be a lot of money, because New York is very tax heavy. Are they going to kill this deal just because of that?
Yeah. Let me just say this, and I'm going to put the onus on you to come up with an answer. If you were going to be the head of a tax commission or tax committee meeting, what would you do? Where do you draw the line? How are you ever going to come up with a tax cut or a tax reform program that is absolutely going to make everybody happy, everybody smile, and everybody think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread? I dare say you can't do it.
Well, you just take, like, Cassia County, the tax collector here. Boy, half the people that call them are very, very angry because they're paying too much, and so-and-so down the street doesn't have near that much, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, you're right. It's going to be hard to get everybody to go along with it.
I agree.
But I hate to see the rest of the country suffer because these liberals in California and New Jersey and New York, and they are mostly all liberals.
Well, Keith,
not all of them.
I agree with you, but in a free society, you know, we've got the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you can determine who's on what side. And we can't change it, but we can certainly voice our opinion and make sure that our voices are heard like you are right now. God bless you, my dear friend, and to you and Nancy, a happy anniversary.
Okay, see you later.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Did I have another caller waiting on the line?
Yes, sir.
All right. Caller, I'll be right with you. I want to remind everybody about Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, 459 Overland in Burley. Yeah, it is time to get your house all spruced up for the coming Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays and everything. Maybe you need a new carpet. Maybe you need new chairs. Maybe you need a new table and chair set. Maybe you need a new sofa. I know the place to go. Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, 459 Overland in Burley. Jeff Bronson, he's back at the reins at Lee's Furniture, and he's got a great staff with him. Stop in today and get ready for the holidays at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, 459 Overland in Burley. Caller, I am so sorry to keep you waiting. Go ahead, please.
Well, I had a chance to talk to you. You know, you just were talking about football just a little bit ago before Keith called. And I didn't know if you had stayed up to watch the full end of the Boise State game, or what did you end up doing?
I got to tell you something, Randy. You're a dear friend and a great listener, but at 21-3, when Boise State was getting beat the other night, I looked at my lovely bride, and we both had little sleepy eyelids, and I said, they are going to get trounced, my dear. I'm turning off the light, and I did. The next day, I talked to my son, and he says, Dad, did you see that great game last night? I said, which one? It certainly wasn't the Boise State game. And he said, yeah, it was. They came back and won.
Yeah, it was something. And when they went down 14 points just at the very end of the game, and I went out to the truck because I wanted to see what the radio station said about what was going to happen to them with the Mountain West Championship, because I had conceded defeat.
Yep.
And then, of course, we know they scored, and then they scored again, and they lost the toss, scored again, and then the onside kick, which was unbelievable, perfect kick. One guy said it's the best onside kick he'd ever seen. And then, of course, we knocked the ball out. Leighton Vander Esch from Riggins, Idaho, came in as a walk-on, $195. And now he's 6'4", 240, and they say he reminds him of Luke Kuechly of the Panthers. He's going straight to the NFL, probably be starting quickly. You know, think about it. He knocked the ball out. You know, this kind of thing helps Boise State to recruit, because they say, well, where would you like to go play in the Mountain West? Well, they want to go play at Boise State.
Yeah.
Because they found themselves, I mean, think about what they accomplished and what kind of confidence that gives those young men.
I agree with you. I want to jump in here real quick because I've got Rita waiting on the other line, but I want to say this to you, Randy, that I was one of the people that criticized Harsin. I was one of the people earlier in the season that criticized Boise for a lack of heart when they gave up games to Washington State and Virginia. It looked like they just handed them the football. But all of a sudden, the transition of personality of that team has made them one of the best college football teams in the country. They are now back in the top 25, and I say kudos to Boise State.
Well, one of the things they said at halftime, Harsin said to the players, I don't care what the score is at the end of the day. All I care is that you put out everything you've got on every play, and look what happened.
I agree. I got to run, Randy.
The kind of thing that can happen to us as patriots saving our country.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Right now on Thursdays, we get all set to go with a lovely lady coming on the program, and that happens to be Rita Ramsey. Good morning, Rita. How are you?
Good morning. I do not have a very good voice today.
I would say not. My goodness, have you been yelling at Glenn all night long?
If I had a bad voice for doing that, it'd be worth it, but I didn't.
Well, if you would rather not try to force your voice, I could go ahead and solicit phone calls and we can talk about some of the other stories in the news. I certainly don't want to cause you any discomfort.
Well, I can talk if you want to hear, but it's not very good quality.
Well, I'll tell you what I will do. I would like to ask you I'll tell you what, we'll cut the segment a little shorter this morning to give you a break, but I did want to ask you about how in the world can Hillary Clinton turn around and say the things that she said, that by pursuing information about the Uranium One deal, the United States is using an abuse of power. My goodness, explain that to me.
It doesn't make any sense. All she's doing is trying to divert the conversation to something else, and it's not. The truth is the uranium, and she doesn't want to admit it.
Well, you know, this woman is absolutely raising herself and her family and her husband above the law like they have for so many years. And we're talking about big money. We're talking about a lot of graft and corruption under the table. And she says that if the Trump administration lets this investigation go on, it's a dictatorship. This is nonsense.
Well, this is the problem. They've always had carte blanche to do whatever they wanted, and nobody held them to account. And so she thinks if she threatens, that'll be the same. It's a double standard. It wouldn't work with me or you or a Republican.
Absolutely. You know, and in lieu of that story, you have to also go back, and the Democrats, little by little, one here, one there, Maxine Waters over here, somebody else over here, they're trying to always throw out the word impeachment. That has got to be, and I'm going to use very simplistic language, that's got to be one of the dumbest things the Democrats could even talk about right now.
That's because they don't have anything else. They think that they are going to be able to do something and divert the conversation, but they don't have anything else.
I agree with that. You know, Rita, I can tell this is really hurting your voice and everything, but I want to wish you and yours, next Thursday we will not be on the air because of Thanksgiving, but I certainly want to wish you the very, very best, and I hope that throat clears up. Let me know, do you want to continue on or do you want to try to curtail it? It's up to you.
It's not sore, it's just I have a sinus infection, so I think it's just affected my vocal cords.
Well, let me ask you this then. We'll talk a little bit further about this impeachment. The Maxine Waters and people of her ilk, really, what are they trying to achieve by standing up and yelling impeach 45 or impeachment proceedings on the floor of the Senate or the House with Democrats saying, well, I'm going to introduce this and we're going to impeach Trump? My question to you would be, on what charges?
Well, that's just it. They don't have any charges. And the thing of it is, if they keep yelling it enough, people will start to believe that there's something there, and that's what they're hoping for.
But really, all of this nonsense at the cost of not doing anything for their constituents, not doing anything for the country, you would think that somebody a little smarter in the Democratic Party would say, whoa, we're hurting ourselves. We better get to work for the people.
They're just like mad dogs. They're so livid. They're full of rabies. They just can't think of anything except getting Trump out of there.
Now, that's really the truth. That's really the truth. And then that story, and you being a mom and a grandmom, I've got to have you comment on that story in Delaware, to where now that perverted Democratic Governor John Carney has said that the schools have more power than the parents, and that kids from kindergarten all the way through elementary, junior high, and high school and college, they can go to school and change their gender and their race anytime they want to without parental consent. Go ahead. Tell me your thoughts.
Well, it's a sad thing, and I mentioned last week that's what Common Core does, is it eliminates parents from the realm of learning. And that's why they want everybody in pre-K, so that they can start real early and indoctrinate and do whatever they want, and the parents don't have any say in it.
This isn't just the only instance of parents being moved or pushed out of the society to where the parents are in charge and the school is secondary. It seems like government and the schools now are telling the parents, but I lay the blame right on the parents. For years and years, parents have declined in taking an issue with their kids, taking an interest in their kids, going to the parent-teachers conferences, etc. And now the proof is in the pudding that the government and the schools think they're not interested. This is a prime time to take it over.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing, and it's really sad because parents need to be involved. But in the other hand, the founders had no intention of this happening, and as long as people just stay silent and let things go, it's just going to continue and it will get worse. And that's what we've seen the last 25 years with parents and apathy and just thinking, oh, well, school's a babysitting, appendage. That's all they do. It's like, this isn't my business. I'm busy with my life.
I was really trying to be as straightforward and honest and appraise Donald Trump's Asian tour. And I got to be really honest with you. I thought that this president, not being a politician, not being exposed to the protocol of what to do, what not to do when you're over in foreign countries, etc., all the personalities of the different leaderships and everything, honestly, after looking at everything he did, visiting Vietnam, going to Japan, going to China, going all over the world, literally in that part of the world, I thought President Trump did a doggone good job. What are your thoughts?
I think that he did too, and the other thing is now that the world leaders don't know what he's going to do because there's not a protocol that he has to hide behind, they're going to have to be on their toes and make sure that they don't run roughshod over us.
When you look at the situation with the liberal news and the bias against Donald Trump and his administration, the hate, whether it's CNN or whether it's ABC, CBS, whatever, it doesn't make any difference. And you look at what the man did, and he was at the various functions, and he stood out as the leader of the other leaders that were in the room. I mean, they ought to give him a little credit, and they ought to give, quite frankly, I'll phrase it like this, the devil his dues, because I thought Donald Trump absolutely took over and took command of the world leadership meetings. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think he did too. The thing of it is those other leaders aren't used to that. They are used to somebody coming along and pussyfooting around and not making any decisions and saying, okay, well, we'll do what you want us to because that's the way we are. And instead, if somebody went in there and said, this is what we're going to do, and it's not going to be good enough for us to have this big of a deficit for trade or anything else. So I think it's really good because a lot of the leaders around the world are going to have to start analyzing and deciding, do we really want to go in after that and look stupid, or are we going to have to negotiate?
Let me ask you about a story that's it's taking precedence right now on all the newscasts, and it's tax reform or tax cuts or the Republicans not getting along and agreeing on this, the Democrats sitting over in the corner smirking. I said in just a few moments ago, as a matter of fact, I don't think you can ever devise a tax reform or a tax cut package that is going to make everybody think they were handed a Snickers candy bar. What are your thoughts?
Well, you're not. The big problem is what's out there is not really a tax cut. If they want to have tax cuts, the government will stop spending so much money and let those of us keep our money that pay it. The big problem is you've got 50% of Americans who are getting benefits and all kinds of stuff via the welfare avenues, and they're not paying a bit of taxes, and they get money back like they were. And those of us that are working and paying taxes aren't getting the benefits. And it's just a sad deal because when you have more than 50% that don't pay taxes and they're just on the and I'm not talking about Social Security, I'm talking about welfare recipients and those who are just taking all the advantage. It's sad, and it's going to crumble our country.
I agree. Rita, touching on another subject that's been in the news, and these are kids that aren't kids anymore. They're young men. And they go to China. They're playing in a basketball tournament representing our country and one of the biggest and best institutions of learning in the United States, UCLA, and 3 stupid buffoon basketball players are caught shoplifting, and the president gets them off the hook. And, and then one of the parents, LeVar Ball, is the father of one of them, and he's been in the news as a loudmouth for many, many months. He said, it's no big deal. It was no big deal. The whole thing goes back to a lack of parental responsibility, I think, and here are 3 kids that were dumb enough to go to a foreign country. They could have been in jail for 10 years.
And you know what? They should have had to go to jail for a few weeks to
I agree.
see what it was like.
I agree.
And Dad's saying it doesn't matter is exactly the reason why they did stuff like that. They should have been versed on what happens when you go to foreign countries and you can be in big trouble for doing the slightest little thing. They're lucky they didn't have their fingers cut off.
And really what you're saying is 100% true. I really think that they should have served some time. I think there could have been behind closed doors a meeting with Donald Trump and the president of China, and they could have said, hey, wait a minute, let's teach these kids a lesson, and we'll both work together on this. You go ahead and lock them up for 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll let them fly home, but just scare the bejeegers out of them and let them know how close they came to spending 10 years in prison.
Well, they should have. Look what happened to that guy in North Korea.
Yes.
He didn't even shoplift. He just took a poster off of a wall. It's ridiculous that parents would not tell their youth, you're going to be in big trouble and you may not get back home if you don't obey all the rules and go by them. I was glad to see that UCLA kicked him off of the team. That's exactly what should have happened, but it's a sad thing when people think there are no consequences to their actions.
Well, yeah, wait a minute. Let's talk about that, though. They weren't really kicked off the team. They were suspended. And my worry is, here's my worry about that. I think that when the chips are down, the back's against the wall with the team going into conference play and then possibly going further, maybe for March Madness, for the NCAA championships, I think UCLA is going to weaken and they're going to let them back on the team. And that's not teaching these kids anything. They basically skated through this problem thanks to Donald Trump getting them off the hook.
Well, that's exactly right. It's too bad that the NCAA can't step in and say, you know what, these boys are not eligible to play, and they're done. There's got to be consequences for actions when you do stuff, and if not, that's how things get out of control, and that's why we have such a horrible time in our society with things the way that they're going, discipline, and these little snowflake millennials and everything else, is that they haven't had to face consequences and pay them.
And these 3 sitting there at a press conference, reading a prepared statement of so-called apology, I think, honestly, that press conference, they should have had the mother and father of each one of those players sitting right there with them. And the embarrassment factor, what they did to not only UCLA, but also to our country for stealing and shoplifting. Every one of those parents and their families, Rita, honestly, going to UCLA, playing on the basketball team, I doubt seriously if there was a need to steal anything.
Oh, I doubt very seriously that. Usually it's just a game to see what they can get away with. And if they would do it over there, what have they done here?
Absolutely. Rita, I want you to take it easy, and I tell you, it sounds like you need to gargle with gasoline. It sounds like you've really got a problem, and I wish you the very best. You're one of my favorite guests on Thursdays, and I do want to wish you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. You and your family mean a lot to us, and God bless you, and I hope you feel better.
Thank you, and I wish you and all the listeners a happy Thanksgiving and remind us all to have gratitude for the things that we have.
Amen. Thank you, Rita Ramsey. Oh, that poor lady. I've suffered through some broadcasts where you don't have a very good throat. All the years, 46 years of announcing rodeos and special events, actually 47, I only lost my voice one time. One time. And it was at a rodeo up in Oregon, and I'm telling you what, I went down there to the rodeo grounds, and I knew right off the bat that my throat was not going to kick into gear, and I tried to suffer through it, and when it's gone, it's gone. And God bless Rita. I just hope she feels a lot better. We got to get a weather forecast on here right now, and then I'll take some more of your calls. Please, you can help fill in the time. Poor Rita not feeling good this morning, and I wish her Godspeed. Our weather is brought to you by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. With offices in Burley and Rupert, they are the best. I'm telling you what, they have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years, and they would love to serve you. Don't forget, it's about time to get your 1099s and W-2s out and all the tax planning before the end of the year. You get a hold of them. They are the best at aiding and assisting you with your taxes and help with your business. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Keep your umbrella and your galoshes handy. You might need them if you go outside today. Rain is in the forecast for today and tonight, about a 70% chance. A little bit on the breezy side as well. We are expecting a high of 54 tonight, low of 37 tomorrow, especially in the morning time. We do have a slight chance of rain and or snow showers in the forecast. Going to be again breezy as well. High of 41. Clear skies for tomorrow night with a low of 25. And as we get on into the weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, high of 43 for the high and 24 for the low. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Oh, my goodness sakes, I guess we've got to take it. It's November, and it gets chilly, and it gets snowy and rainy and windy and everything. I don't like it. Anyway, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company bringing you the weather this hour with offices in Burley and Rupert, and they would like to take a little bit of a time here this morning to thank you. Thank everybody out there for all their business this past year. Don't forget, the best to help you with your financial needs, questions on tax return preparation, tax planning, financial statement preparation, retirement planning, call them. Make an appointment. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company with offices in Burley and Rupert. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I got to tell you that people that will stand up and fight back are people that are going to win in the long run. I was just absolutely ecstatic when I heard about a high school football team down in East Coweta, Georgia. They took their helmets off before a game, and they prayed. And all of a sudden, the Freedom from Religion Foundation that is centered back in Madison, Wisconsin, a group of absolute derelicts as far as I'm concerned. They heard about this Georgia football team that absolutely would stand by the bleachers and pray before their game. And, well, you got to stop that. Why, you can't do that anymore. Why, we're going to come in and we're going to sue you. Why, we're going to shut you down. Well, you can't have a football game where you're praying. What do you think you are? That's against the law. No, it's not. And at the next game, after they were threatened and told that the Freedom from Religion Foundation was going to come in and just wreak havoc with them, they got together and the players all took off their helmets. And the students left the bleachers and surrounded the team, and the parents and the rest of the city and the people in that area went down and surrounded the team, and they prayed. And basically, they told the Freedom from Religion Foundation, you better get out of Dodge City. You're not welcome here. Don't you dare come in and tell us how to live our lives. And one of the kids that used to play for East Coweta, Georgia, is now a football coach in his own right. And he said, we said the Lord's Prayer at the 50-yard line before every game. After the game, we prayed together as well. I coach 8-year-olds now on a football team, and I pray with them every day. And I'm not going to stop. Good for him. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. Want to remind you, too, about the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Oh, they are going to have a ripping good sale coming up this Saturday, November 18th, the Heil Reduction Auction. It's located over in Gooding. From the stoplight, go west 1 mile to 1800 east, then north 1.5 miles. Watch for the signs. They'll have lunch right there on the grounds, and it's going to be good, too. By golly, they've got tractors like a Case International 1896 diesel tractor. They've got swathers. They've got all kinds of haying equipment. They've got Arctic Cat ATVs. They've got generators. They've got all kinds of miscellaneous items. Woo! What a sale. Starting at 11 o'clock this coming Saturday, the 18th, over in Gooding, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Joe Bennett and the crew, 539-0111. The Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys can sell them all. Absolutely. That's coming up this Saturday. Want to remind you, at 11:30 this morning, we're going to be over at Lunch Bunch, and that's at Denny's Restaurant in Burley. And I really appreciate all your support. Love to have you there. And we want to say thank you to some of our many, many gift certificate sponsors, which include Walmart, Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, and Denny's themselves. That's coming up at 11:30 today, and we would love to see you there. Also, real quick before I get into another segment here, I want to remind you that Marianne Wickham, she's so nice to send us all these public service announcements. The American Falls Community Choir, directed by Dan Bowman and accompanied by David Bowman, will be presenting their annual Christmas concert at the Rupert United Methodist Church at 605 H Street on Monday, December 11th at 7:30 p.m. A community event, and everybody is invited to attend, wide open for everybody, and a love offering will be accepted after the concert, and the number to call for more information, 436-3354. And one other public service note is that Mini-Cassia Realtors, the Mini-Cassia Association of Realtors, are having a project called Keep Mini-Cassia Warm, and they're taking blankets and outerwear donations. All these donations need to be made on or before December 12th. That's a matter of a few weeks, and donations will be accepted at any real estate or affiliate offices in the Mini-Cassia area, and also Pomerell Place is one of the drop-off points. And if you have any questions about this, contact, and it's sponsored by the Mini-Cassia Realtors, and the number is 878-9170. Good cause, and we wish them a lot of luck. This time of the day, as you know, I get a little hungry sitting here, and we have a segment called If You're Hungry and Starving to Death, I know where to go. Let's start, first of all, with the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, they've got all those shakes. Listen to these different kinds of shakes. Pumpkin shakes, eggnog shakes, mint chocolate shakes, along with like a chicken fried steak sandwich and the fries and the special sauce, or maybe a famous Farmer Brown burger. It's good. AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Really good, folks. Well, we can move over now to the Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Pumpkin empanadas. And then along with that, you got to have one of those breakfast burritos. Scrambled eggs, bacon, and sausage, cheese, onions, tomatoes, and sauce, all on a tortilla shell. Knock your boots off. Delicious. All of this, a great menu at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Well, now we're going to talk about two locations of Burgers Etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert, and 700 Overland in Burley. Oh, my goodness, they've got hot soup, a different flavor every day. Like on Mondays, they got cream of broccoli, Tuesdays, cream of potato, chicken rice, wild rice on Wednesdays, and cream of broccoli on Thursdays, chicken noodle on Friday. That's my favorite. I'm telling you what, all the burgers, everything delicious at Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Moving on over now to Steve-O's. Hello, food made the way you love it at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Wow, I'm telling you, they got that chaos salad. I've been talking about that for a couple of weeks now. It's a chicken breast with bacon, pickles, jalapeno peppers, lettuce, tomato, cucumbers. It's really, really good. And they got buffalo burgers, and they're going to be closed on Thanksgiving Day, but you can stop in anytime, all the time before that and after. So stop over to Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Heyburn. And last but not least, oh my goodness, time to reserve the upstairs for your Christmas party at Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. Great private affordable space for your party needs, and they've got all the chili, the homemade chili, and they've got a great salad bar and pizza delicious at Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. You stop over and see them today. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Here's what's coming up next hour. We're going to have the Cassia County School Days, and we have English teacher Brandy Powell coming on the program. Then we're going to have a little visit with Linda Peterson, and then another couple of segments, and then we're going to get on the road and boogie to Lunch Bunch today at 11:30, and we invite you to come on in, and if you're a first-timer, we'd love to have you there. Right now, let's turn it back over to our main studios. The news next from CBS. I'm making sure that everything goes well for Cassia County School Days, brought to you by two wonderful sponsors. Now, a little bit later in this half hour, we're going to be talking to Linda Peterson on behalf of A Child's World and also Ambulatory Surgery Center. Now, A Child's World, of course, right there at 1308 Overland in Burley, and they've got all the baby clothing and the children's clothing and the games and the puzzles, and oh my goodness, they've got all the scrubs for those that like to wear the scrubs, very comfortable, free gift wrapping. It really is a family store, and they urge you to stop in at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. Also, our thanks go out to the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Life-saving colonoscopies and, of course, carpal tunnel surgery, cataract surgeries, your outpatient surgeries, and they can save you money. Call them at 677-8888. That number again, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you school days in Cassia County. Right now, let's go to the phone line. Let's check with Wheels and see if we have Brandy Powell on the line.
Yes, sir, we do.
Wheels, it's finally, we had something go right this morning. All right. English teacher at Burley Junior High School, Brandy Powell. Brandy, good morning to you. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am fantastic. And let me ask you, have you ever been on this program before?
I have not.
Well, boy, are you in for it today. All right. I understand that on the cheat sheet they gave me that you really are encouraging your students to read anything they can get their hands on, and also do a lot of writing. Tell us about what your encouragements include.
Well, I basically think that if you read, you're expanding your education in ways that kids who don't read are not taken advantage of. And so anything that they want to read, if it's about cars or trucks or the dystopian novels that we have currently that are really popular, anything that entertains them, they should read it, because it brings them into a world of education that a lot of kids don't take advantage of.
Brandy, let me tell you a scenario that I was very aware of back when I was in school, which was when they still circled the wagons at night. But I remember when I get into high school, And I won't name the teacher because I think some of their family members listen on my internet service back in Wisconsin. But the teacher went over to a student that was in free time in the classroom, was reading a hot rod magazine and really studying about engines and everything. And the teacher grabbed that magazine and she threw it in the garbage can and said, in school, you will only read what is applicable to the class or the current studies. And long story short, that young man went on to be one of the chief engineers for General Motors. I think the teacher made a mistake.
I would probably agree with that.
But kids...
interests are the most important thing for us to tap with kids. If you can find what their interest is and make a connection to help them in their education, they will not only explore in what they are interested in, but there's a respect that grows from that you took enough time to see what they were interested in and help them in that they might respect you enough to pay attention to what you're teaching in class.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. You know, if a kid shows that he wants to read about cars, or if he wants to read about equines, horses, or if he wants to read about whatever the subject might be, if he shows an interest in it, that gives you as a teacher kind of a guideline as to, hey, this kid's got an interest here. He could really go far if he puts his interest in that subject and studies harder, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, don't give me just...
I don't know if you knew our former ag teacher, Lex Godfrey.
Yes, I did.
But he spoke to me once about some kids' math scores, and they were in lower level math classes here at the high school, and their state tests indicated that their math skills had increased on their ISAT. And they weren't making a connection because these kids were in lower end math classes and they were wondering why their math scores had gone up. And it's because in some of Lex's ag classes, they were learning those math skills, but they were applicable to them, so they actually cared to learn them.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't care if a kid is reading the back of a matchbook cover. I mean, for Pete's sakes, he's reading something and comprehending something. But now, what about, I also read that you're very passionate about writing. And do you encourage your students to just sit down and write about anything?
There are days that I pose questions basically every day. I mean, the question that I'm asking my students today, my juniors are learning about American literature, and we just went over the Declaration of Independence, and today they are to answer the question, why does this matter? Why do we need to know about the Declaration of Independence today? Why do we need to know why it came about? And they are to figure it out. I want it to be applicable, and they have to write it down and to communicate your thoughts on paper. Some kids don't practice it enough, and they find it difficult. But I leave it open that they're not going to get penalized whether their answer is right or wrong, because there isn't really a wrong answer to that.
Absolutely.
Take the question seriously.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Let me state one other issue about writing, and I want to see you as the teacher. You can slap my hands with the ruler and telling me I'm wrong if you want to. But I think that when you're encouraging kids to express themselves, and you're encouraging them to write about different issues, don't condemn them at that juncture for bad grammar or not having the right punctuation or whatever. Let them express themselves so they can learn and progress from there. Would you agree with me or not?
Absolutely. The way that we speak, we learned it from the environment that we grew up in. And so some kids are just putting on paper the way that they've been speaking since they learned how to speak. And so for the most part, when I grade my kids' essays, I will, for about a page, grade their grammar and tell them where they're making mistakes there. But the rest of it, I'm reading it for content.
Give us some success stories, if you will, about kids, some of the kids that maybe have been in a little shell, some of the kids that came out of the shell, and boy, did you ever feel proud that you were their teacher. Do you have some of those stories?
I do have a student that came back and saw me last year. I feel like it was a struggle for him to get through high school. He wasn't a high achiever. Some of his classes he was barely passing. I always was really impressed when he would give input in my class because he was very, very intelligent and did have a lot to say. But most of the time he would stay quiet. But when he had something to say, he would raise his hand and give his input. And I feel like he barely was able to graduate. But the best thing that I heard, he came back last spring and told me that he was going into the National Guard.
Oh, wow. Wow. I bet as a teacher, you really, excuse me, had a big smile on your face and are pretty proud of the student.
I did, and I was very proud because sometimes some people, when a kid's not academically successful and their grades are D's, some people will judge them and think that they will not be successful in life. But when they do come back and let you know that they're doing something, it means a lot to you.
Well, yeah, but look at it this way, if you will, Brandy. Einstein was not very successful in school, and look what happened to him.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
Einstein is a great example. There are a lot of great success stories that started out with someone telling them that they weren't going to be successful or they were not good at what they were trying to do.
You know, let me ask you this, though, Brandy. I say, and I've been criticized sometimes for saying this, a lot of a student's success, whether they are a good student or a bad student, depends on the teacher adapting to that student. In other words, one size does not fit all. I had a lot of trouble with mathematics in high school thanks to a teacher that just kind of overlooked me and went to the other class members that were really excelling. And I didn't learn a doggone thing from him. But the next year I went into a different math class, had a gentleman that just absolutely could explain everything in simple terms and yet have fun with it, and I came out very well.
Yes, a different teaching approach can mean the world to a kid as far as their success goes. And I think that's why, here we are trying to, at the beginning of the school year, we actually had a speaker come and talk to our entire district. Her name was Tara Brown. And she wanted to get across to us that, I am not an English teacher. I am a teacher. I teach students. And that if I go into my classroom to teach English, I'm teaching English. I'm not teaching students. I need to pay attention to what my students need.
Absolutely. You know, let me ask you this question. I'm almost out of time, and I've enjoyed our conversation, but do you find as a teacher that reading levels today are lower or higher or about the same as they have been the last 25, 30 years in school systems across America?
Unfortunately, I don't know what the statistics would have been in previous years, but I can say that currently there are some very low levels of reading that make it very difficult to teach students. I do know that we have been trying to address the issue with ideas of possibly creating English classes that are more geared towards teaching reading and focusing on reading to bring up some of the kids that are at lower levels. Because if a student isn't even at a third grade reading level when they reach high school, and other kids that are at grade level struggle with the literature, such as Shakespeare, even adults struggle with Shakespeare. Most
Right.
adults do.
Right.
How can we expect a kid that's not even at a third grade reading level to be successful with it.
What are some of the most popular, last question here this morning, but what are some of the most popular reading books for the kids in the school systems today? I mean, what are some of the big novels that you as a teacher really like them to get their teeth into?
In my class, I would say the classic dystopian novels, Fahrenheit 451, Animal Farm. We also have 1984 read, and the kids really like that. They really like dystopian stories.
I see.
The popular books that they read independently, such as The Maze Runner and The Hunger Games, and the Divergent series, those are all also dystopian novels. A really current one, the first novel is called Unwind, and they really like those stories. It's about a group that the world is trying to create a perfect world, and in doing so, they create the exact opposite.
So you're telling me...
Really controlling, and people actually don't have any rights.
Okay. So you're telling me that my day of being forced to read and comprehend Tolstoy's War and Peace, that might be over.
Oh, yeah, that's really not something that is being read in the regular classroom for sure.
Okay. Brandy Powell, I've enjoyed our conversation. The best to you. I'd like to have you come back sometime and we'll talk about writing. I love writing, and I would love to have you come back on and discuss that. But thank you for being a part of our program this morning.
You're very welcome. I'm happy to do it.
All right. Thank you very much. Brandy Powell, and she's an English teacher, and I just really, really appreciated her coming on the program today. Thank you very, very much. I think Old Wheels, yeah, he's over at the main studio, and I think that he has got a hold of our next guest, and we're going to have our business salute today. And the business salute just happens to be regarding our two major sponsors of Cassia County School Days, A Child's World and Ambulatory Surgery Center. And we say a good morning to the lovely Linda Peterson. Good morning. How are you?
Give me 1 minute, sir.
I can't give you a minute. I'll give you just a few seconds. Thank you. Linda Peterson's going to be on the phone with us momentarily, and we're going to talk not only about the sponsorships, but she's been involved in education for a long, long time, and I've got a lot of respect for that lady. Don't forget that Lunch Bunch is today at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, at 11:30 this morning. So everybody try to be in attendance. We usually have between 55, 75 people. Man, we have a good turnout and a lot of fun. So we'll see you at America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant, at 11:30 this morning. Is she ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. This lovely lady and her husband have been very instrumental in keeping Cassia County School Days on our program list on Thursdays. And Linda Peterson, good morning. How are you? Is she there?
I am.
Ah, good morning. I heard kind of a loud beep, and I didn't know if you were there or not. Thank you for taking the time to come on our program this morning, Linda.
Oh, thanks for this opportunity.
You know, Linda, you have stated to me in conversations that education is very near and dear to you. And on behalf of A Child's World and Ambulatory Surgery Center, you folks have been the main sponsors of Cassia County School Days for a long time, and I want to say thank you. But why such a great commitment to education?
I think education is the gateway for people to progress and make some of their dreams come true, utilize their talents, and make the world and their community and their family a better place to thrive.
You know, and you've kind of put, if you'll pardon the expression, your money where the mouth is, or your mouth where the money is, vice versa. And I really compliment you and your husband for all you've done. But this area, Cassia County school system, it seems to me like, boy, you talk about some leadership. You talk about some sharp kids and some sharp teachers. I think there's a lot to be proud of right here in this part of the state of Idaho. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, we have a wonderful work ethic. Hopefully it will continue through generations, and we have people who have left our community and got outstanding educational credentials and learned some great skills, and luckily many of them will come back and enrich and help our community push forward.
Absolutely. I want to give you a lot of kudos about the Child's World at 1308 Overland and Burley. Tell us a little bit about how a Child's World came into being, and really, what kind of a store is it?
Well, I had looked at that old Van England's building. It had been a great department store when I was a child. And I thought, I just visualized the store. I thought, why do we have to leave our community and go other places to buy items for children? And so it literally came up for auction, and we were able to buy the building. And with the help of some local contractors, if you remember, they took the fronts off the building, and here was that beautiful stained glass that's along there, and we renovated the building, and it's our business. We've been there since 2002, and through thick and thin, and when the recession came, it was difficult, and we still, our challenge today is like other retailers. The younger generation wants to buy everything online. They don't want to go into retail stores, and we hope to keep our prices reasonable and let people come and shop locally.
You know, let me ask you, the wide range of material, the wide range of buying that's available at a Child's World. Kind of give us the spectrum, if you would, please.
Well, we start from newborn babies. We have furniture, strollers, those kind of items, clothes, you know, all the things you might need for a little baby, developmental toys, blankets. Then we move on up, and we are trying to expand our line to we offer dresses clear through size 16, so that's a hard thing for people to get, and we try to always have the fall and the winter and summer, spring selection of dresses, and we carry 5-piece boy suits up to size 20, and they can be ordered and get here within a week, and very reasonably priced, around $59 for a 5-piece boy suit.
Wow.
And then we have clothes up to, we're trying to specialize into just about to 6X for play clothes now and bring some new lines in. We also carry Cherokee and Dickey scrubs so that people in this area who need quality scrubs, we've had them for years, and they don't shrink, they don't fall apart, they don't fade, and we can have that within a week if we don't have the size or style you like. And so we can have that along with shoes. So that's something that people may not be aware of also.
All right. Now, real quick, I got about a minute and a half left in the segment. Tell us a little bit about Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quickly, please.
Okay. Well, I want to go back that we have toys and games at the Child's World, too, but Ambulatory Surgery Center, it is a wonderful, it's top-rated. People save over half what you can get, and you can get outstanding personal care, cataracts, arthroscopes, carpal tunnel, hand surgery, knee surgery, life-saving colonoscopies. That's just to name a few procedures there.
You know, it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to have Ambulatory Surgery Center in Burley along with the Child's World right here in our community, and I thank Linda Peterson for coming on my program this morning to discuss them. Linda, God's blessings to you and your family, and may I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for sharing with us this morning.
Likewise, thanks for this opportunity. Appreciate it.
Thank you very, very much. What a nice lady. And her and her husband are just absolutely, really community-oriented people, and I thank them for that. We're going to take a little break and send it back over to our main studios. Old Wheels is over there. He's going to take us through the next 3 or 4 minutes, and then we will return with the final segment for this morning. Wheels, take it away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
I never thought I would hear myself saying this. And if it wasn't on tape after I say it, I probably won't believe I did say it. But I am turning into... Oh, my goodness, this is really something for me to say. Okay, Jaws, don't freeze up on me. A Dallas Cowboy fan. Oh, man. again, for somebody that was raised and absolutely loved the Green Bay Packers all these years, I'm turning into a Dallas Cowboy fan. Why am I turning into a Dallas Cowboy fan? Because Jerry Jones, the owner, is the only one that's got the guts and the backbone to stand up to the rest of the NFL and tell them they are wrong. But did you hear what the league, the NFL, is doing and trying to do to Jerry Jones? They are accusing Jerry Jones of conduct detrimental to the league's best interest. Now keep those words in mind. Best interest. Jerry Jones doesn't like Roger Goodell. Jerry Jones doesn't like the work that this man has done in kind of a wishy-washy attitude. Jerry Jones does not like the fact that this deal with the players of not standing and honoring our flag with respect has been elongated to cause this much of a problem. And he does not want Roger Goodell to be the commissioner in the future with a exorbitant contract of $50 million in his own private jet. I applaud Jerry Jones. He is one of the very few people, if any others, that have stood up and said, no. But listen, here's what the league is telling Jerry Jones. They're saying that you are guilty of conduct detrimental to the league's best interests. And they're also saying, Jerry Jones has said that he has issues with the compensation in the Goodell deal, along with concerns about the escalation of player protests involving the national anthem and how the league has handled them. Jerry Jones also has suggested that the owners should revisit the power that the position wields of being an owner. And the letter that the rest of the league sent Jerry, basically telling him to shut up and go out to pasture, they removed him as a non-voting member of the compensation committee after he threatened to sue. You know, this whole thing reeks of ownership trying to just take the appeaser's way out of this mess. And the owners like Arthur Blank with the Atlanta Falcons, etc., are just trying to push Jerry out of the NFL and possibly, somehow, financially, force him out of the ownership of the Dallas Cowboys. You know, even if you don't like sports, even if you don't like the NFL, Jerry Jones right now is the only owner that I'm aware of that has had the backbone and the spine to tell these overpaid, underworked, prima donna, fat cat athletes, respect our flag, respect our country, and respect the ownership of the team that is handing you your paychecks. And the rest of these owners are nothing but mere wimps that are too afraid of their own shadow to stand up, be men, be owners, and act like owners, and tell your employees to shape up or ship out. It really hurts me to think that I am becoming a Dallas Cowboy fan. Oh, my goodness, how times change. I'd love to have your opinion on this. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. One other thing that I want you to be aware of, and when I saw this, I did a double backflip and a hula hand. Now, the Barbie dolls are coming out with a version of a Muslim woman wearing a hijab. I'm not kidding. Next week on the program, I think on Monday, I'm going to have Pamela Geller, and I think she's scheduled for 10:30 next Monday. and we're going to discuss this. Now, to be politically correct, the Barbie dolls are coming out with a Barbie doll dressed up in Muslim clothing with the hijab and everything else. And you talk about infiltration into our culture? What are your thoughts about having Barbie dolls at the store dressed up as a Muslim woman, and she is portraying a lady by the name of Imithal Muhammad. This is something else. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm going to be called a bigot and a hate monger like I do every day. Somebody says, you're a bigot and a hate monger. Well, you don't like this, that, and the other. Well, I love my culture. I love the American culture. I love the Western culture. I don't like to think that I have to sit back and accept a fragmentation of our culture for other cultures to come in and possibly take over. That's it, plain and simple. Barbie dolls, now dressed up as Muslim sword fighters? Oh, my. Let's take a look at the weather, and the weather brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Hello, Don Scarrow and the crew. The number to call, 324-7657, or you can go to their website and check out all the delicious Scarro's Meats at scarrowsmeats.com. One of these days, in the not-too-distant future, I got to get Don back on the air, and all the marinated meats and the smoked meats, and oh, my goodness, their retail meat department, absolutely phenomenal. So check it out today. Go to scarrowsmeats.com or give them a call, 324-7657, Scarrow's Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Keep your umbrella and your galoshes handy. You might need them if you go outside today. Rain is in the forecast for today and tonight, about a 70% chance. A little bit on the breezy side as well. We are expecting a high of 54 tonight, low of 37 tomorrow, especially in the morning time. We do have a slight chance of rain and or snow showers in the forecast. Going to be, again, breezy as well. High of 41. Clear skies for tomorrow night with a low of 25. And as we get on into the weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, high of 43 for the high and 24 for the low. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much, Gina. She does a great job for this program and has been doing the weather for, a couple of years? Great, great job. And the weather brought to you by Scarrow's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. They are definitely changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time at Scarrow's Meats. Today, a lunch bunch, and I want to urge you, if you have never been to lunch bunch, to be there at 11:30 this morning. We absolutely look forward to having new people come in all the time, and it's at Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley, and we start at 11:30. We've got a lot of door prizes to give away, too, including gift certificates from Walmart and Smith's Food and Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin, Denny's themselves. I mean, man, it's a lot of fun. So we'll see you at 11:30 at Denny's Restaurant. Also, quick reminder that the American Falls Community Choir, directed by Dan Bowman and accompanied by David Bowman, I've been asked to get this on one more time this morning. They're having their annual Christmas concert at the Rupert United Methodist Church on 8th Street in Rupert, Monday, December 11th at 7:30 p.m., and it's a love offering will be accepted, and for more information or questions, call the church office at 436-3354. Okay. Thank you to our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. They're saying getting ready for winter driving, and I'm looking across the canyon, and I swear I see some angel dandruff laying on the ground over there. Looks like snow on that side. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't forget they've got all your traction tires for winter driving. Yes, of course, for your car, pickup, and SUV, and all the tire chains, and the best in brake service with highly trained brake technicians serving you. do. Front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries. I don't emphasize enough the batteries. Man, oh man, they've got the best of batteries to turn that engine over and keep you going. Get ready for winter driving. Stop in at any one of the 7 locations. Lane in Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike in Buell, Mike in Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Wheels, to say the least, we have had more than an interesting 3 hours.
No kidding. I told Scotty I'm already ready for the day to be over with. and that's the thing is we've just been having technical problems and this morning, and so I'm still glad you've been able to do your show, and I'm glad that everything's went a lot better. Well,
it was really kind of funny, folks, and I might as well be really honest about it. We had some mess-ups on the computer over there, however it was caused, and I called Wheels doing one of the breaks. I said, "What are you doing over there?" And Wheels goes, I don't know, but we're trying to fix it. I didn't mean to make you nervous, man. I'm sorry.
No, thank you for understanding, though, and being patient. The best.
No, wait, whoa, that's a misnomer. You have never, ever accused me of being patient.
No, and that's the thing is I'm not either, and
okay.
When these mess ups happen, it sends you into panic mode.
Oh, big time!
You're on air.
Big time.
On air. People are listening to you, not just 100, but thousands. And when you have a mess up, that really takes a toll on things.
Well, and I really do appreciate what you're doing over there, and also I think we need to say a thank you to Scotty today too, don't we?
Yes.
Okay.
We do. Gina was out because they're doing their turkey drive for Cat.
Yep.
But let's just say, if they were both out right now, this morning, I would have been royally screwed.
You would have been jumping out of a basement window, wouldn't you?
I think we both would have been jumping out of a basement window.
Listen, I look forward to seeing you at Lunch Bunch, and I understand your mom's coming today, right?
She is, and provided by her job, she is going to bring over a couple turkeys for your guys' drawing. So that'll be nice.
Wow, God bless your mom. Listen, I'm going to be taking off and hitting the highways and byways to get over to Lunch Bunch, and Wheels over at the main studio, unless the gremlins have jumped into the record player. We're going to play a couple of tunes, and I'm just going to remind everybody, we're going to be back on Monday the 20th, and boy, have we got a home run lineup scheduled for Monday. We've got Frosty Woldridge, we've got Richard Manning, we've got Reverend Robert Schrenk, we've got Pamela Geller. That's just some of the great lineup that we've got scheduled for this next Monday on the program, Zeb at the Ranch, starting at 8:06 right here on K-Bar, 12:30 a.m., and then streaming live on ZebBell.com all over the universe. I want you to be careful out this weekend and enjoy the weekend. And next week, of course, Thanksgiving, and we've got so much to be thankful for. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back here at 8:06, where we always say next Monday the way things were are the way things ought to be. Wheels, we'll see you at Lunch Bunch.